Rwanda, and you go into the national forest up there and you play with a gorilla. Well, you don't play with a gorilla. You get right next to them. They're habituated.
Today's pretty so
They're people. They're still wild gorillas. And you go up there and they're extraordinary. They'll come right up to you. These gorillas.
They're definitely cozy. They've done crossing points.
And it's practicing, isn't
2
it?
years old is pretty young for a gorilla. Usually their lifespan is 35, 40 years.
Okay.
This guy is her keeper, her best friend, her mother, effectively, her mother and father, who raised her from an infant. They found her holding on to her mom, who had been killed by, I think, those army guys during the Civil War. That's heartbreaking. But it's a great picture. And if you ever have a chance to see a mountain gorilla, they're amazing. They're very gentle. You think of gorillas as these monstrous animals with tempers. They're actually very, very gentle. The only time they get upset is when you go charging or grab one of their kids. Although I've had friends who have gone, the little gorilla, they're very, very serious. The little toddler gorillas. As people go there, the gorilla will climb on top of the tourist. The little one. And the mom gorilla just lets that happen because you stand still. Oh, do stand still. So you're not a threat. But really, all the feeling with gorillas. For example, if you're looking at a gorilla, and they look at you. Like, you're up close. You're 5 feet away. You're 10 feet away. You look down.
Oh, don't look them in the eye.
Yeah, you look at them in the eye.
Yeah, you're challenging them at that point.
Yeah.
No thank you.
Yeah. But they're interesting creatures, to say the least. It's a heartbreaker. All right, we can end on a very nice story. Police pulled over a guy who was speeding. And it was a 79-year-old guy. And he said, everything's going wrong today. My son is mentally ill. My wife is having health problems. I bought this TV. I don't know how to hook it up. I wanted to buy it for my wife. So the cop said 2 things, sir. 1, I'll let you off with a warning on the speeding. Number 2, we're coming over to your house later. We're going to set up your TV for you. And this officer and 2 other officers came over there, set it up, showed him how to, use the remote and all of it. And they put that on video. Well,
incredible.
I mean, they're now doing as much positive PR as possible.
Yeah, damn.
The last story. They go through
GMC.
cloud today.
Oh, wonderful.
Let's do right around.
Coming out with new faces.
Yep.
Next year's coin will be Maya Angelou.
Yeah.
Women. Memento. Yep. Women. Yes. 5 new designs.
Yep.
And they're going to be released each year between next year and 2025.
Yeah, and these are women who just have been extraordinary. Maya Angelou, Wilma Mankiller, Cherokee's first principal woman, too. By the way, she got her name Wilma Mankiller during her divorce. And it was a pretty contentious divorce. Okay, we're done. Coming up, you had to ruin it.
I didn't know what to say after that.
Fair enough. Coming up, the COVID vaccine mandates and the California lawmakers, after what happened with LA County and LA City, are looking at a crackdown and what it really means. But in many cases, this crackdown means nothing, and I'll explain. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Whether you love us, hate us, or haven't made up your mind, we're glad you're here.
KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Oil spill latest. I'm Layla Mohammed live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The operator of a German container ship says it's no longer being investigated for the oil spill off of the coast of Huntington Beach. Tracking data appear to put the ship over the pipeline around the time it was severed. But the company that owns the Rotterdam Express says it was pretty far from the pipeline. Coast Guard investigators boarded the ship at the port of Oakland, and the operator says the ship was then allowed to leave for a stop in Mexico. And the oil spill off the coast of Orange County is having big impacts on businesses in that area that need a clean ocean to make their money.
Brexuo, who co-owns Hogan's Bait and Tackle in Dana Point, says he's losing business with the harbor being closed.
I would say we're at least 50% down, if not more, right now.
He says this is the time of year when lobster season starts. and he's taking a hit in sales. People aren't leaving on their boats if they're in a slip, so they're not buying bait to go lobster hooping. They're not buying glow sticks. They're not buying new lobster accessories there. Joe says it's hard to plan for his business going forward with so many unanswered questions about the oil spill. It's Joey, KFI News.
Orange County DA Todd Spitzer says people who filed lawsuits over the oil spill could be waiting for years to be compensated. He told Wake Up Call it will be a long and involved process.
On the criminal side, what we have to look at is, was somebody reckless or intentional?
Spitzer says oil companies pay into a trust fund to cover economic damages that are caused by things like this oil spill. News brought to you by Rooter Hero. LA County Health Director Barbara Ferrer says starting today, people will have to provide some additional information to go to a bar, lounge, nightclub, brewery, winery, or distillery.
Prior to entering indoor portions of these establishments, customers and employees now need to show proof of vaccination, along with a photo ID if they're 18 or older.
Ferrer says a single dose works for now, but on November 4th, full vaccination will be required. A group of 8 counties in the San Francisco Bay Area is looking to ease indoor COVID-19 mask requirements. The group says the rules will be dropped when overall vaccination rates are above 80% and COVID-19 transmission rates and hospitalizations are low. A bill that would increase the federal debt limit has moved to the House for a vote. The Senate approved a bill yesterday that would raise the debt limit to $480 billion until the beginning of December. But Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the bill is only a temporary fix.
What is needed now is a long-term solution, so we don't go through this risky drama every few months. And we hope Republicans will join in enacting a long-term solution to the debt limit in December. We're ready to work with them.
Lawmakers have an October 18th deadline to raise the debt limit, or the U.S. will default on its debt for the first time ever. Employers across the U.S. have added 194,000 jobs in September. Economists say it's the second month in a row the number has been below their expectations. Today's report by the Labor Department also shows the unemployment rate has fallen to 4.8% from 5.2% in August. At least 100 people have been killed or hurt in an explosion at a mosque in Afghanistan. Officials say the people targeted were Shiite Muslims who were worshiping at Friday's prayer. The Friday noon prayer is the highlight of the Muslim religious week. A new survey shows 95% of Americans agree the spread of misinformation is a problem. Most also think individual users and social media companies should take a lot of the blame. The poll done by the Pearson Institute and Associated Press shows about half the people surveyed also blame the federal government for spreading misinformation. An old bridge in England made famous by the Winnie the Pooh stories has been sold at auction for nearly $180,000. The original Pooh Stick Bridge was built in 1907 and is where author A.A. Milne and his son Christopher Robin played in the 20s. The bridge was sold to a man who also owns the property on which the fictional 100-acre wood was based. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Let's check traffic.
Just that's it, thanks, Layla. Good morning to you now. If you just start now, the freeways are kind of damp or weather, slick, so just be careful, even if you don't see it raining, no matter where you are. First, most of our LA and Orange County freeways are in pretty good shape. However, here it comes. South of the Rose Bowl, westbound 134 Figueroa, there's quite a crash in lanes there to stop all to clear it. So the freeway's open now. Again, this is just south of the Rose Bowl, but kind of slow coming away from Lake. So once you get going through there, you'll be in good shape, really. Get Glendale and Burbank on the 134, no problem. Inland Empire, checking in pretty good. Cajon Pass, South 15, a little slower on 138, again through the 10 and the 60, not too bad. Going towards downtown Los Angeles now from South LA, North 110 Exposition, problem right in the middle of the freeway as you slow from Slauson, and even southbound on the Arroyo Seco, coming out from Dodger Stadium, a little slow through the 4 level. You should get through on time. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Barr.
Tonight begins the National League Division Series playoffs between the Dodgers and the Giants. The boys in blue will put Walker Buehler on the mound at Oracle Park, while the Giants are going with Logan Webb. Manager Dave Roberts notes tonight's matchup is as good for the sport as it is historic.
It's what baseball wants. You know, Giants, Dodgers, one of the great rivalries in sports, and
first pitch is set for 6:37 live on AM 570 LA Sports, brought to you in part by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo, good times. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports. If you're looking to get out of your house, for whatever reason, or you've inherited a home and you don't know where to go, I'll tell you what the default is for virtually all of us when we want to bail out, is we go to a real estate agent, and then you list the house at 6%, and then the agent says you got to clean, you got to paint, you got to repair, all those tchotchkes you have, throw them in a closet. Well, imagine doing that, selling your home, without any of that, for a fair price. No buyer walks through your house. Oh, yeah, that's another fun one. You sell it without an appraisal. You pay no commissions. You can kiss goodbye that 6%, and you get paid in cash and get it done within 10 days or less. That's directbuyers.com. That is exactly what directbuyers.com does. The owners, Janet and Matt, brother and sister, really do care. And by the way, I made sure of that. I spent hours with them talking about their business model. They'll give you an honest, no obligation offer, $15,000 cash advance if you need it before closing to help with your move, and they will never, ever lowball you. And that's what this business is famous for. They won't do that. Go to directbuyers.com, directbuyers.com. Call 844-242-SELL, directbuyers.com.
Most Californians live within 30 miles from an active fault, and earthquakes can happen anywhere and any time in the Golden State. So, do you know how to protect yourself when an earthquake strikes? Make sure your home, workplace, school, and community are planning to practice how to drop, cover, and hold on during the Great Shakeout. This is an important safety drill. Learn more at shakeout.org. Shakeout Day is October 21st.
The Kfi Financial Report brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow is up 65 points, S&P up 9, NASDAQ up 10. The average price for a gallon of regular gasoline in California, $4.43.
Bay Alarm Advanced Video Security proactively protects your property, stopping crime before it starts.
Southland Weather from KFI. Another chance for storms today. Mostly cloudy skies. Highs in the mid to upper 60s. Along the coast, upper 60s. For Metro LA, Inland OC, the valleys, and IE, plus the high desert, low 50s in the mountains. Sunshine moving in tomorrow. Temperatures warming up this weekend. Highs will be in the upper 70s to low 80s inland by Sunday. Right now, 63 in Yorba Linda, 62 in San Clemente, 62 in Venice Beach, 60 in Reseda. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Layla Muhammad.
Morning, everybody. Bill Handel here on a Friday morning, October 8th. Before we start the weekend, some of the stories we are covering and are trending. That oil pipeline break in Huntington Beach off the coast. Investigators are searching, and it looks like they're getting closer and closer to nailing the reason the ship anchor dragging across the line. And Elon Musk announces Tesla's going to Austin, Texas, from California, Palo Alto. He's not alone. HP announced it's bailing out. Oracle last year said it's bailing out, and they're all going to Texas. Fair enough. Well, that's not fair enough. It hurts California. They've been saying that for years. Even though it's weird because it doesn't seem to affect the economy of California. People still pouring in, money being made, the state awash with money. Because of the taxes, of course. They're never going to lower the taxes. The last tax raise was an emergency tax raise. It was only supposed to last for 3 years. Yeah, right. Now, I want to move over to the COVID vaccine mandate for a minute. And a couple of backstories that I want to share with you. First of all,
GMC.
As you know, the CDC and the FDA are changing their rules every 2 minutes. And it's really hard to keep up. California, being probably the most restrictive state in the country in terms, well, the other way, it's being the most conservative state in the country when we talk about vaccinations. I mean, it is pushing for vaccinations, pushing for mandates. The city of LA literally just passed, a couple of days ago, I think it was Wednesday, the strictest mandate for vaccination of any city in the country. Okay, so now you got Governor Newsom. Said last week, one of the things he's considering, and he's waiting for the CDC, he's waiting for the FDA, would require students to be vaccinated, every student in the state to be vaccinated. Right now, LA Unified is pushing, and I think I don't know if they've gone that far yet, but there are school districts across the country that are mandating it. And then the requirements for vaccinations in private business, man, that's exploding. That snowball is halfway down the mountain already. The major airlines, the president yesterday had a press conference and started rattling off the names of these major corporations that are mandating vaccines. You want to work? Hey, American Airlines. They said, you want to work for us? You're going to be vaccinated. Thank you very much. And if it's really important for you, if it's your belief is you can't be vaccinated, okay, then you just don't work here. You know, get a job someplace else. Okay, it's your choice. So the problem with the state, and then some bills are flying around the legislature, is tucked within those is one little caveat. Parents can opt their kids out of the vaccine based on personal beliefs. Let me ask something. A parent who does not want a child vaccinated, isn't that based on personal beliefs? I don't believe I should have my kid vaccinated. Okay, you're exempt, which means there is no mandate here. It doesn't exist. If you're willing, if they're letting you bail out based on personal beliefs, that's everybody who doesn't want to get back, doesn't want their kid vaccinated. Why are we even bothering with this? Now, I want to point something out. Newsom announced the state is going to require all public and private schools to receive the vaccine with that mandate, of course. And for those people that don't believe their kids should be vaccinated, you know, your kids don't go to private or public school without vaccination. And there are 10 diseases that they have to be vaccinated against. Everything from measles, mumps, polio, rubella, distemper, parvo. I mean, a lot of diseases that is required. Or your kid doesn't go to school. It's that simple. And all of a sudden, how about this vaccine or your kid doesn't go to school? Oh, no, it's COVID. It's the COVID vaccine that we will not allow our children to get. Now, there is an argument saying, well, it hasn't been tested long enough. They don't know enough about it. It used to be 10 years before a vaccine could actually be okayed by the FDA. Hey, technology has changed all that. They knocked out a vaccine in 1 year. That's unheard of. That never happened before. They sped up the testing because we're looking at a pandemic. And as far as the efficacy and safety of these vaccines, hundreds of millions of them have been given. And a handful of people have died or become seriously ill. Big deal was made of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine because we now have a reported 47 people that have reacted and gotten blood. 47 out of, 20 million? Now, the argument is long-term testing hasn't been done yet because you can't. The vaccine is a year old. And so what is long-term? 2 years, 3 years? And I always bring up the mesothelioma case studies and lawsuits. You've seen them on TV. If you're a victim of mesothelioma and you work in coal mines or you were in the agricultural business and you sprayed, you did spraying, then you may get it 30 years later. So are you going to wait 30 years? 20 years before a vaccination happens? Do you tell your kid at his or her wedding, gee, it's safe now to become vaccinated? That's the problem. But the story here, the big story here, is that loophole. By the way, this is a real loophole. And when we talk about, businesses may go through loophole and people, the rich people use loopholes, there aren't loopholes. There are deductions, for example, in income tax, that are allowed. And they simply take advantage of them. And in many cases, it's minutiae within the tax code. That's not a loophole. This is a loophole. We're going to mandate vaccines. You must have your child vaccinated. Incidentally, do you know when it became federal or state law that your kid has to be vaccinated? Otherwise, you don't go to school? 2015 eliminated personal belief exemption for the polio and the mumps, etc. That's it. Before that, you go personal beliefs, and that was gone. 6 years ago. Goodbye, you're done. Personal belief, religious exemptions, no, you're done. Only medical exemptions are allowed. That's what's needed here. Forget about personal beliefs. That's hilarious. Just, come on, why even bother? Why even bother? Oh, there's a story about vaccinations that I want to share with you. It's a really interesting story. What happens with one parent saying yes, the other parent saying no as to vaccination? I just got that question on the handle on the wall this past Saturday. Where do you go with that? I'll tell you. It's a pretty wild ride. Kfi Am 640, let's check in with Layla Mohammed. Sorry about that, Layla.
That's okay. A third school in Huntington Beach has filed the second proposed class action lawsuit against oil pipeline company Amplify Energy on behalf of businesses in Orange County seeking damages related to the oil spills. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association has announced a 5-year partnership with the NAACP in an attempt to boost diversity and inclusion in the entertainment industry. The group conducts the Golden Globe Awards and has been criticized over a historical lack of black members. And the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to 2 journalists, one from the Philippines and another from Russia. We're checking out traffic on the 91 next.
Have you been denied a home loan or refinance because you're self-employed, earn 1099 income, or even a real estate investor? You're missing out. Most lenders make approval seem impossible, especially if you're self-employed. Stop watching everyone take advantage of the lowest mortgage rates in history while you're stuck on the sidelines. Accelerate Capital, the premier lender designed for the self-employed. Our approval process is based on common sense, using bank statements, 1099 income, profit loss statements, rental income, or even stated income to qualify at the lowest rates available. Fast. Conventional lenders cannot do this. When others say no, we say yes. Call 800-811-9702, 800-811-9702, or visit acceleratecapital.com.
EXCELE, acceleratecapital.com.
Equal housing lender. Call for details. NMLS ID number 1165716. Not all will qualify. California DFCI license number 41DDO45150. Additional restrictions may apply. Loans made or arranged pursuant to the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act.
Let's check out traffic on the 91.
You betcha. Well, good morning. Most of our rides are looking fairly good, but stay with me now. West 91 from the I-5 over to the 110. That's Buena Park to Gardena. Still in pretty good shape. There is a problem to the shoulder. Just be careful now. This is the West 91 at the transitions to North and South 110, so be careful. Long Beach to LAS, a popular drive on a Friday, that's for sure. North 405, pretty good shape. A little slow around the 110 up, not too bad. Burbank Glendale, I should say, excuse me. But eastbound 134 at Victory, that's just before the I-5. There's a off-ramp problem. I know CFC is on the way. Now that's right around the I-5, a busy spot, so be careful. And coming through San Bernardino Freeway, I'll follow up on this San Bernardino. I'll follow up on this next report, but West 10 at Waterman, that's just before the 215. Supposed to be an overturn there, so be careful. West of that, things are looking pretty good. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Bob.
I am one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body. I am living in the moment and taking Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Spectrum Business notes, small businesses are always looking to cut expenses. That's why we offer the best value on fast internet and phone. But we wanted to do more. So, how does 1 month free sound? Get 200 megabits per second internet for $49.99 a month and business phone for $19.99 a month. And right now, you can get 1 month of internet and phone and even TV for free. Call 855-258-5887 and switch to Spectrum Business. Restrictions apply.
You're tired of your car. You want something new, and you want it now. No problem. Roto has your back. That's R-O-D-O. Sell your old car and get into a new one right from the comfort of your couch. Use the Roto app to browse thousands of vehicles from local dealers for the best deal on the wheels you really want. Roto, the fastest, easiest way to buy or sell a car. Download the Roto app now or check out roto.com. That's ROTO.com.
At Southern California Edison, keeping our community safe from the threat of wildfire is our priority. We're installing insulated power lines, managing vegetation, and inspecting and upgrading equipment on 50,000 square miles of community and wild spaces. Helping to keep our communities safe is a job we take very seriously, because the communities we serve are the communities we live and work in, too. Learn more at sce.com/mitigation. Living with dental issues is hard. No one knows this better than Joseph, who struggled with failing teeth for years.
The inflammation, the bad breath, the teeth falling out, the pain.
These issues took their toll, so Joseph came to Clear Choice Dental Implant Center, where he discovered one procedure to put an end to the years of discomfort, pain, and compromise.
Once I got it done, I was like, why did you wait so long?
That's what dental implants did for Joseph. Find out what they can do for you by visiting clearchoice.com.
This is my business. I started it, and my hard work made it successful. We survived the last year, and things are starting to look better, but now hard work alone isn't enough. I need cash to hire some people and buy supplies. Loan Me Business is for people like you. We can loan your business from $6,000 up to $250,000. And we understand that you don't need the cash soon. You need it now. And if your credit isn't perfect, that's okay. Apply today and you can have the money in your account tomorrow. Loan Me Business loans have longer terms, keeping your monthly payments low and manageable. You can even pay the loan off early to control your costs with no prepayment penalties. That sounds great. Simply go to loanmebiz.com to get started. That's loanmebiz.com. Or call 844-3-LOAN-ME.
Not all applicants will qualify. Approval and terms subject to credit standards. See loanme.com for details. Loans made pursuant to California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation Law License 603K061.
That's 844-3-LOAN-ME or loanmebiz.com.
She and I are throwing around the football or playing catch.
A real-size football or an American mini football?
A real-size football.
Okay, good.
And so then this kid comes up, and he wants to play too. So I start playing catch with the kid. But why do you have that look on your face?
Did you hurt him?
Well, first of all, okay.
Jerry and Shannon.
How did you know?
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KFI.
KFI AM 640 Handle here on a Friday, October 8th with the morning crew. Some of the stories we are covering that are trending. The authorities are getting closer to nailing the reason of that oil pipeline break to a ship anchor dragging across the pipeline. And they've been talking about that. It's just getting closer and closer to a definitive answer. And 18 former NBA players charged with pocketing about $2.5 million illegally, defrauding the league's health and welfare benefit plan, submitting fake claims for medical procedures that were never done. NBA, of course that's going to be big news. On Saturday, I got a question. I received a question from a woman who was divorced, and she asked, can I vaccinate my kid? My husband is saying no. And I asked, do you share custody? And she said yes. And I said, all right, even though it is the law that says that if you're sharing custody, the parents have to agree on issues like education, religious upbringing, and medical care. There has to be an agreement. But then I said, let's get practical for a minute, okay? Go ahead and vaccinate your kid. What's your husband going to do? Sue you for damages? Because the kid is, the DNA, your kid's DNA has been removed by the government when the shot was given, or the microchip was in fact implanted, or how dangerous the COVID vaccine is, and you put the kid at risk. I mean, what's the father going to say? Go ahead and do it, and tell him to go pound sand. It's done. Now go ahead and argue with him. And that's the law. They have to agree. But what happens when they don't? And you actually follow the law, and you don't do what I tell you to do. And you have to go to court. Literally, you have to go to court. When there are disagreements in terms of divorce or shared legal custody, education, religious upbringing, medical care. All right. So what's going on? Well, like any other argument that people have during the course of a divorce, they fight over what each side believes in, and when they are at different sides, of course, you take them to court. Silverware, custody of the dog, or whatever. Certainly custody of the kids, and whether tuition is going to be paid, medical care, is that going to be continued insurance. So what's going on now, because people are nuts, those who don't want to get their kids vaccinated are really believing that, and of course there are others where there's no issue. The child has to be vaccinated, so you go to court. And there is one story, and then the judge has to determine, remember, the best interest of the child. The judge doesn't care about which side when you're dealing with custody and which side when you're arguing something along these lines. It's the best interest of the child rule, especially under these circumstances. So there's a story out of Boston in which you had a woman by the name of Veronica. And she wants to vaccinate. Her husband didn't. So they go ahead and go to court. And now the judge is looking at, give me the reasons why. And she comes up with letters from the kid's pediatrician, statements from the CDC, the FDA, American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Medical Association, all of them indicating, saying vaccinations not only are safe and not only is the efficacy 90%, 95%. He comes up with a link to 150 articles off the internet proving how dangerous vaccines are and how the vaccines are a hoax and how the number of COVID deaths, which I have heard, has been super exaggerated by the government. It's only a fraction of the 700,000 people that we've heard have died of COVID, which I happen to believe. Where do you think the judge is going to go with that? Really? So you don't want your child vaccinated, and you're walking into court with the proof, because you have to have some basis on which your decision was made. And you bring in internet articles, websites that prove conclusively how dangerous the vaccine is and or the hoax and all the conspiracy stuff. So for those people, and again, I'm going to give the same advice and it's not particularly good advice, because frankly, you're violating the law. When a husband says no or a wife says no and the husband says yes, and you're supposed to jointly make a decision, and if a decision cannot be reached between the two of them, then you simply go to court and have a judge make the determination. Do it anyway. That's my advice to you. Now, I have put a disclaimer. That's marginal legal advice, I have to tell you, which is why I disclaim the show when I do Handle on the Law every 3 minutes, saying, whatever you do, don't listen to my advice. You're going to be in a world of hurt. But that's what I said to this woman. And I think most people agree, as to our kids. I mean, there's no issue. Come on. It's just a question of how quickly we can get our kids vaccinated. And the same with us. So I am an easy one at home. But man, especially when you're divorced, not even necessarily divorced, you have one spouse saying one thing, another spouse saying the other thing, and this is pretty important stuff. And keep in mind that the spouse who doesn't want the vaccination truly believes, in many cases, that the vaccine is dangerous and is more dangerous than COVID itself. And there's true personal beliefs. I know people who believe that stuff, and they believe it. I mean, truly believe it. It's not, they're not just throwing smoke up there, blowing smoke up your, All right, coming up, climate change. I want to do a story about that. And you notice that when we get heat waves, and are they a lot worse? I mean, we know it. We've heard about it. I'm going to give you some facts behind the heat waves and how dangerous they really are here in Southern California, way beyond you probably know. This is KFI AM 640. Let's check in with Layla Mohammed.
A truck driver in Chino has been arrested for allegedly stabbing another driver to death at a distribution center. Police say both men were dropping off deliveries late Wednesday when they got into an argument. One guy was stabbed multiple times. Police say the other had a knife and was arrested on suspicion of murder. News brought to you by Cunning Dental Group. Tesla is moving its headquarters from Northern California to Austin, Texas.
CEO Elon Musk says the decision to leave Palo Alto is because of the rising cost of living in the Bay Area. Musk says it's tough for people to afford houses there. He moved out of L.A. to the Austin area last year. He lived in L.A. for 2 decades. Musk has not been thrilled with California for some time. Last year during an earnings call, he lashed out at government officials calling their temporary COVID-related health orders fascist. Deborah Mark, KFI News.
A surfer in Northern California says he tried to keep his cool while he was being attacked by a shark. Officials say DNA tests show a great white shark about 10 feet long attacked Eric Steinley while he was surfing last Sunday. Steinley says he fought off that shark by punching it.
I just felt this heavy thing pull on me, and it was like a clamp right around my leg. And we went underwater together and in slow motion, and I reached down to grab what it was.
Steinley says he hopes to surf again one day, but after surgery on his leg, it won't be anytime soon. The Biden administration is restoring public lands for 2 national monuments in Utah. ABC's Andy Field says former President Trump had downsized the monuments to at least half of their original size during his time in office.
The Biden order, a win for Native American tribes who wanted to protect their spiritual and historic sites.
Biden is also restoring marine protections for a conservation area off the coast of Rhode Island that is being used for commercial fishing. Let's head to the 10 in the Inland Empire.
You betcha. Thanks, Layla. Good morning to you. Now, if you're driving through parts of San Bernardino now, a problem reported, if you were with us last time around, it was reported west 10 of Waterman. It turns out it's the eastbound at Waterman. That puts it a little bit east of the 215. So there is some westbound slowing, really not too bad. It won't throw you off schedule. But the transition from the north 15 to the east 10, that is a little slow as well. Now, back to the drive, Burbank, Glendale. A little good news here. Eastbound 134 Victory. The off-ramp was blocked. No longer. They cleared that and went up to the top of Victory, really. So the 134 in pretty good shape. But westbound a little slow, San Fernando Road through the I-5. And then leaving the San Fernando Valley, North Hills, now South 405 in Nordoff. The problem there was the driver reportedly hitting the center divider and carpool lane. A little slow. And then morning drive, pretty much from Victory up and over the hill into West LA. Be careful. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Bob.
Tonight's Dodgers-Giants playoff series opener will feature starters Walker Buehler and Logan Webb. Manager Dave Roberts is really looking forward to the matchup of California rival teams.
It's like I said earlier, I think it's great for baseball. They think a lot of the way we think as far as getting platoon matchup advantages. There's a lot of familiarity, which makes it fun, even more challenging. It's going to be a great series. It's going to be a fantastic series.
First pitch is set for 6:37 live on AM 570 LA Sports. Brought to you in part by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo, good times. The Rams improved to 4-1 after beating the Seattle Seahawks by a score of 26-17. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
Well, you've heard me talk about my friends at Sunday and how they can sell your home fast without any repairs, without the hassle of dealing with showings, realtors, cleaning, or making upgrades. Now Sunday has made the process even easier for those who want to sell a property fast. Contact Sunday for your free no-obligation cash offer. They're going to visit your property, take photos, and do a 3D walkthrough. They'll package your property details and send it to the thousands of local investors in their database who are actively looking to buy property. The average homeowner receives 12 offers on their property. It's quick and easy. Plus, you can close in as little as 10 days, or they have the flexibility to close in months. They can even give you a $20,000 cash advance, which will help with moving costs when you sell with Sunday. Go to Sunday.com, SUNDAE.com, or phone them, 800-25-OFFER. Get a free no-obligation cash offer at Sunday.com, SUNDAE.com. Sunday is a California licensed real estate broker. DRE license number 020-88298.
Southland Weather from KFI. So we're going to have some morning showers and then partly cloudy by the afternoon with a slight chance for some rain. Highs in the 60s today from the coast to inland areas, Metro LA, Inland OC, plus the valleys and IE. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Layla Muhammad.
All right, we're getting back to normal, and during the pandemic, of course, the stress was completely crazy. It's a different kind of stress now. But either way, whenever there's stress, good night's sleep is critical. I mean, you wake up in the morning after a good night's sleep, you feel great. After a bad night's sleep, well, frankly, you just don't feel good. So let me tell you about the Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed. This is proven quality. It does make a difference in your health and wellness. It's just a phenomenal bed, which I've been sleeping on for the last 14 years. And the Sleep Number beds, you can adjust either side of the bed to whatever firmness level is ideal for you. And you can change it as often as you want. That firmness level is your sleep number. Mine's 100. I like a very firm mattress. And I mean, it's been going up over the years. Same bed. Save up to $800 on the Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed through October 18th.
Swift transfer case.
Set up when you had a base fund. That deal ends on October 13th. You can only get a bed at the Sleep Number store, which is sleepnumber.com. 30 locations in Southern California where you can see the bed in person. Long Beach, Marina Valley, Brea, South Bay, sleepnumber.com.
Adventurers Water at La Mesa RV. Your search for a sleek, maneuverable adventure van is made and at La Mesa RV. Our selection of top names like Winnebago, Pleasure, Storyteller, and Geico are in stock. Ready to go. Get off the ground comfortably on a clean, powered adventure van equipped with a range of amenities. Thousands now, and drive away in the adventure van you've been searching for. Your adventure van source is an easy drive to San San Manuel Casino is changing its name and it's changing its game. San Manuel Casino now Yamaha Resort and Casino at San Manuel. It's two new casino floors now with over 6,500 spots, the most in the West. A new high-end for stock elevated new luxury retail shops, restaurants and bars, and even more thrills to come. It's thrills to level of thrill. California's never seen before. San Manuel Casino is now Yamaha Resort and Casino at San Manuel. Visit Yamaha.com. 21. Please gamble responsibly.
Transportation.
There's red, blue, and then there's you. You're a free thinker. I believe the best idea to no matter whose idea that is. At Kfi Am 640, we give you all the news you need in a variety of opinions. You make up your own mind. It's open to no one.